Alright, so this first pack, this pack's actually a little bit mediocre. I'm not a huge fan of Boom Shroom. The blood cards, on average, I think are the weakest in this limited format, so I don't really want to pick that up. The uncommons are all fairly underwhelming as well. Strike Force Sergeant or Memory of the Fallen are probably the most powerful from among them, and we definitely don't want to pick up a Ruby Wild card as our first pick, and this card's not even that good. Memory of the Fallen always feels kind of lackluster to me, too. Like, it's only good if we already have a board. There isn't any common removal that's particularly great in this pack. Like, objectively, the most powerful cards are probably, like, the Butcher, the Skyspire Scholar, or the Battle Prep, perhaps? I think I'm just going to take the Skyspire Scholar because it leaves me the most open. We're also not passing any good Sapphire cards. Like, if I take this Butcher and we pass a Boom Shroom, someone might move into Blood. And, like, again, Blood's not that powerful. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Skyspire Scholar. Marty Punker! With the 14-month resubscription. Thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. This pack, there's still 4 uncommons in here, so the rare got taken out of this pack. Cottontail Warcaller is a pretty powerful card, but I don't think it's worth giving up a Skyspire Scholar that we have here. Also, again, like, taking a 2-shard card as our second pick means we're pretty unlikely to end up playing it, depending on how everything shakes out here. Windborn Ascension is a pretty reasonable card. It's also the most reasonable Sapphire card in the pack, so I think I'm 10 out of 10 going to go ahead and pick that up. Alright, yep, and there's a Cloudbounder in this pack still for some reason, and someone else, so there's 4 uncommons in here, so someone took a different common over this Cloudbounder, so 10 out of 10 into the Sapphire cards for all they're worth here. And again, we're not past 80 powerful Sapphire cards, so we're going to see what else is coming around before we move into a second shard. I skimmed the article, I took a glance at, looks like how they're structuring packs, it seems neat. Man. Sapphire is just, like, super open. God bless, I guess. Almost certainly want the Cerulean Sage, I think. I guess we could take the Web Scribe if we want to be a little bit more defensive. The Cerulean Sage lets us take a more aggressive route, though. Hopefully, with the way these packs have been coming around, the Skyspire Scholar or the Web Scribe wheel for us. I think we 10 out of 10 want the Cerulean Sage. Also worth noting that there's still a Feed the Flames and a Blitz in this pack, so could very likely that Ruby's still open. Yeah, definitely. Although I'm looking forward to having Guidance and Focus in Immortal. That sounds great. I don't understand what's going on in this draft, but I'm gonna go ahead and draft this one. This is this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth pick Mystic Naturalist here. So, you know, I'm just gonna do me, and we'll worry about what everyone else is doing in this draft later. The Hexbot probably doesn't have guidance in it yet. Guidance says, you Fate Weave and then you draw a card. And Fate Weave is you choose a resource or non-resource to put on top of your deck, and then you get to draw a card. So, and it only costs 1 and it's a diamond threshold. Huh. So, there's nothing I'm really particularly interested in playing in this pack, and there's nothing I want to move into as a secondary shard. So I think I'm actually going to draft this Wakuna coin, because the best supplementary shard for the Sapphire archetype is Diamond. And so, since there's nothing else I want in here anyways, might as well pick this up, and then if we end up in Diamond, we have a coin. I mean, like, it doesn't really mess up Prophecy that badly, because it just, like, delays it a very small amount, right? And there's a Web Scribe in this pack still. Good lord. I'll take it. Just ship all the Sapphire cards my way. I guess this card's very good. It's a 1/3 for 2, and whenever you gain a charge, an opposing troop gets -2 power for a full turn cycle. We also want a critical mass of 1 and 2 drops. That way we can diligence out our Cloudbounder consistently. Hopefully we're going to pick up another Cloudbounder or 2 in the next pack. Phoenix Guard Lancer for really lucky. Do you whisper sweet nothing into the ears of your draft packs? That's why. Gotta be really nice to the booster packs before you open them. Dum 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 dum. I still feel like I don't want to commit to a second threshold here, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab the sweep away. This is our first pack come back around to us here. I guess I could take the Memory of the Fallen at this point, or possibly the Gallant Spear Cliff if we're going to potentially be in... Memory of the Fallen is probably mildly better than that. It's easier to play too. Vanquish isn't awful, but it's kind of clunky. I think I'd rather take the Memory here. Hey, Maester. Good. This draft shaped it up really well. Hopefully we'll see some of the other Sapphire cards wheel back around to us that we were looking at earlier. And if not, like, we've already got like 8 playable-ish cards out of this pack. So, well on track to have the 22, 23 playables that we need to play. Nothing we're particularly interested in playing in here. I guess I'll grab the Shrat. Man, no one's in the Dreadling archetype. Both of these are still here. Dread deployment still in this pack too. It's kind of unreal. Maybe I should have picked up the Tactician and just like had a secondary. We could end up in Dreadling's game plan. I guess Mystic Naturalist and Cloudbounder aren't awful. Yeah, maybe I messed up there and I should have taken the Tactician in case this this Diamond secondary doesn't pan out. Razor Edge Duelist is a fantastic diamond card, very playable, so the fact that this came back around this late kind of gives me hope that the diamond's going to end up being pretty open for us. Scrivener's okay. I'm going to start him in the reserves. Board this in against more aggressive decks. I did see the article about Core Common. Seems like a really sweet idea. I think Android hit the nail on the head the best. It's just like gives them a way to keep reprinting the same cards without having to like have 12 different copies of Arcane Focus with different names. Feels like everyone else is in Mono Wild, right? I don't know what's going on, but just get like 3 more Mystic Naturalists and another Cerulean Sage or 2. Maybe a Phoenix Guard Lancer with 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would draft all of the Lancers and Mystic Naturalists. Ship. Friar Tusk is a fine reserves card. It's reasonable against Dreadling decks. With the same art is fine. It probably helps keep their costs down, honestly. Producing art for cards is not cheap, I'd imagine. Unplayable 1, unplayable 2. Alright. Lancers and Naturalists and Cloudbounders. Oh my. All of the flying troops, please. Alright, yep, there's a Cloudbounder. So there's a Shackling Strands here, which is, like, pretty reasonable removal, but I think I'd 10 out of 10 rather have the threat here. You know, bombs, removal, then evasion. This is a bomb and evasion, so 10 out of 10 I'm going to start with that. Hopefully the Shackling Strands wheels, but if it doesn't, I won't be too surprised. Anyone else in Sapphire is going to pick that Shackling Strands pretty highly. Man, remember that time we asked for things, and then Kismet delivered on all of the things that we had asked for? We're about to, like, 0-3 this draft, aren't we? It's feeling like an 0-3, but we just got Cloudbounder and Mystic Naturalist in this pack, too, and it's just like... If you're subscribed to the channel, you can not see advertisements when you log in. At least I'm pretty sure that's the case. That subscribers are not supposed to see advertisements. Also, when I go live, if you have notifications, it should say what I'm streaming. And I always post on Twitter when I am going live with what game I'm playing. So if you only follow Magic or only follow Hex, you can always check my Twitter account when I go live and see what game we're firing up with. That too. Reversion's a plenty playable trick here. Man, the uncommons in this pack are pretty terrible. Donation bars in my way. I don't know what you're talking about, Matthew. The donation bar's not in the way of anything. It's not in the way of anything at all.
We're at the top end for it, but it still fits.
In short, there's a lot of ways to know. MTGO is literally unplayable. It is, in fact, literally unplayable right now. Can't confirm, can't log in. Gravebane Vial's pretty mediocre. I definitely think it's worse than Reversion. I actually value Reversion pretty highly in this format. There's a lot of combat tricks. This also does things like, undoes things like Grandfather Elk's activation or Marzul's counters combat tricks. I don't really have any other socketed cards. The Spiritbound Vicar doesn't seem particularly appealing. There's still a Pyre Strike in this pack. Why is there a Pyre Strike in this pack? Yep, we're 10 out of 10 going to be playing Standard this evening. Goodbye, D. Good night. I think I'm going to take this Pyre Strike and keep an eye out for what Ruby cards are coming around. If there's still a Pyre Strike in this pack, we might get a lot of Ruby in the third pack, which makes going Ruby Sapphire more appealing than Diamond Sapphire. And like the core of our deck is 10 out of 10 Sapphire, so like what our secondary is should probably depend on what the better cards we get like this out of it. Yeah, definitely. You check out this article here. It kind of talks about the prime differences between the resource system and a couple of the things like the card customizations and socketed. Socketing, and if you have questions on specific, feel free to ask. Right now we are doing a draft, which is done kind of the traditional way Magic drafts are. There's 8 players drafting right now, and we're passing packs around and cards will wheel. There's 17 card packs, etc. So this pack doesn't have anything we're particularly interested in playing in it. I'm not a big fan of Holy Reprisal. I think it's pretty mediocre. They gain 2 life for each opposing attacking troop, and then they get to pick which one they're sacrificing. I think I'm actually going to pick up this Awaken Herald, because there's a non-zero chance that, like, if we get enough Awaken Heralds and Roidbots and, like, maybe a Tinkertron, we could splash this Pyre Strike as a powerful removal spell. Our deck has, like, good top-end bombs right now in Mystic Naturalist and Cloudbounder, but we're definitely lacking on removal, so it might be worth splashing this, honestly. And like I said, if, like, the Ruby flows pretty free in the set 5 pack for pack 3, then we'll just pivot into Sapphire Ruby. If we get, like, some hammers and cremates and stuff like that. What are the odds that Arena Regular comes back around? Pretty good. I'm gonna grab the Rock Slider. We're gonna see where this deck ends up at. This deck might end up a little weird. Yeah, right. The modern ban list is honestly just embarrassing at this point. But like, they just finally got their stuff together in regards to Standard. So like, maybe getting their stuff together in regards to Modern is coming with the next ban list update. Maybe, just maybe. I don't understand what is happening in this draft. We don't have a lot of removal, but every time we get past a pack with removal, there's another obnoxious Sapphire. Maybe some of these Shackling Strands are going to wheel. Cause I'm not gonna pass the Consult the Talons, just the draw 3 cards. And this says mobilize, which means we can exhaust the troop to make it cost 2 less. So if we have 3 troops, we can exhaust 3 troops and make this cost 1. I think we're in the right shards. Yep. Sapphire is definitely the shard we want to be in right now. Honestly, we're so light on removal that I think this Explosive Interlude is worth picking up. And then maybe we end up... Our top end's a little high. This is 13 playables right now. I guess these are, like, technically 3 drops. Another interlude. I don't know that I can afford to have this much top end in my deck, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a few pieces of Ruby removal in the last pack. Hopefully that Arena regular wheels back around to us here. That would be my ideal. Arena regular comes back on around now. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. Kick it off today's Hex stream with a little bit of draft action. We're going to play some standard constructed later. Maybe pick up that last Immortal ticket I need before the weekend. I think GTA's too good for Modern. Hayotachi Calvary. I need to fill out the lower end of my curve here. So, 2-2 for 2 is still reasonable, I think. The problem is that GTA is not only good, but like, it's like would fit into like most decks in Modern win by attacking and blocking with creatures. So like, GTA is good against decks that are interested in attacking and blocking with creatures. The only reason it's reasonable in Legacy is because there's a lot of Legacy decks that don't care about attacking or blocking with creatures. Yeah, it's the fact that everyone has to play. It would literally be like the Smuggler's Copter of Modern, right? Like it would just be in almost every single deck. I'm gonna cut a Tactician here, so who's ever drafting this Dreadling deck gets cut a little bit. Fury Splitzer's like the best card here, but it's probably not going in the deck. Doesn't look like anything particularly great. So got like 15 playables off, so we're a little short on playables, so hopefully this last pack will be good to us. Otherwise, I guess we could splash Diamond or play some of these worse Sapphire cards that we have. The bottom end of our curve still needs a lot of bit of help. We've got these 2 Cloudbounders, but we only have 1, 2, 3 things that cost 3 or less. So, like, our deck has a lot of powerful cards in it, but we don't actually have that good of a curve right now. Yes, Death Raid is 10 out of 10 a card that needed to go away. As someone who's been playing a lot of Legacy lately, like Death Raid Shaman being God of Magic is modern is a great thing. Man, none of these cards are particularly good. This Moonrise Elder is super powerful. We are not in diamonds. I guess I'm going to pick this up on the off chance our diamond ends up being better than our ruby at the end of this pack. Those are more Trillani Sapphire Ruby cards we're interested in picking up from there. Lurker's okay. I guess I'm undervaluing it because we're probably playing a Marzul deck, and like it's Underworld, but maybe that's incorrect. Might be undervaluing it because it's Underworld. It's also just like another expensive card. Playing a Tri-Shard is not, you know, it's not great for consistency. If we get like a Tinkertron, I might be persuaded to play Tri-Shard. Got a couple of okay diamond cards at this point. So now, like, this is actually kind of a hard choice. There's a Blazing Hammer here that's like quality removal that I would love to have, but there's also this Jet Cadet, which helps my curve out a lot more. I think I'm supposed to take the Jet Cadet, even though it's the worst of the 2 cards, just because, like, the bottom end of my curve needs a lot of help right now. Hopefully the Hammer or the Fire in the Hole wheel back around to us, but I think picking up the Jet Cadet is objectively correct here. Come here, Jake. Come here. I'll be right back. I think a diaper might need to be changed. Man, that's a Hilltop Monastery. Cavarel Gaming with the 3-month resubscription. Thank you for the continued support. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. I think we're going Tri-Shard and just splashing some of this removal. I think that's happening. This card's kinda nuts with Mystic Naturalist. It lets you exhaust your troops at will, and, like, eventually when it gets 5 counters on it, it makes a Valor every turn, which is whatever, but, like, it's real good with Mystic Naturalist. If you play Mystic Naturalist on 4, and then immediately start, like, diligencing out some Songbirds. So Mystic Naturalist, this is a 2/4 flight for 4, that every time it readies, it makes a 2/2 flight. Was there a Treacherous Pass in there? I might have missed the Treacherous Pass as I was sitting down. Oh, there's my man Tinks. Tinks generates a threshold of our choice, so well on the splash. Yeah, okay, maybe I should. This is probably better anyways. Now I can play Ada. Maybe the pass is better. Hey, Aaron. Nope, yep, I just missed it. Spirit Cliff Captain's a pretty good card. That's fine. This is working out. We're just going to end up in Sapphire Diamond with a Ruby Splash for some removal. I'm going to play a Modern tournament. What would I play? I actually don't know. I have the Invitational coming up, and I don't really have a Modern deck that I like right now. If you're trying to win the tournament, you should probably play Dredge or Eldrazi Tron. Hate whack. So we still only have 1, 2, 3, 4 1 and 2 cost troops. So ideally, we're gonna squeak another one or two 1 and 2 cost troops out of here. Why did I stop playing the Breach Titan deck? Because I don't think it's particularly good. The more I played it, the less good it seemed. Maybe we'll revisit it just because, like, I haven't been liking anything, so maybe I was being too critical of it, but I'm really not a fan of how it's been playing out. I'll grab the Lurker at this point. Kiki Cord Sprites Ojutai. The Revolt Zoo deck's actually kind of interesting. That's one that tested okay in the few matches we played. Maybe it's worth revisiting. Freebooter is just everything I want right now. It's an okay piece of tempo. It's another 1 or 2 cost troop that's playable. Whoa, man. We've got a Ruby Splash for removal. This is new and interesting and edgy. Just loses to Death Shadow describes probably half the decks in Modern. Oh, we should play Death Shadow's Chord. God bless it. Look at that. Maddie just cracked it in half. We're gonna put Death Shadow in a Quarter Calling deck. Broke it. Yep. Another Spirit Cliff Captain. Spirit Cliff Captain. What am I cutting at this point? Am I getting to a point where I'm just not playing the Ruby cards? Probably. It's a little sad. Hopefully, God, we passed. There was the 2/2 Flight for 1 that has Sapphire Diamond Threshold requirements. Hopefully that comes back around to us. It'd be great if it did. So, I don't actually think we can cut the Awakened Herald. I think we need the critical mass of 1s and 2s, and right now I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I think I'd need like 2 more 1s and 2s before I could consider cutting the Awakened Herald. Also, like, Mystic Naturalist is double Sapphire, and this is double Sapphire, and we're gonna need double Diamond for our champion power, so the extra fixing isn't terrible. Cloud Runner, that's the one. Would love it if Cloud Runner comes back around. What's the average cost for a Hex deck? The tier 1, here's my Cloud Runner. The average tier 1 standard deck ranges somewhere between probably $50 and $150 depending on what it is, what season it is. To cut something now, Battle Scrivener is not very good. Get that guy out of here. This is 1, 2, this is 6 1 and 2 drops now. Also, good thing to keep in mind if you're new to Hex and used to other digital card games, Hex is a full buy-sell trade secondary market, so that means if you don't like the deck you get, you could always trade it into other cards or sell back out of it. Bride of the Damned actually isn't, I don't think any, like, if you ask me what the 3 best decks in Hex were, none of them are playing Bride of the Damned right now. Like, I think the 3 best decks in the current Hex Constructed format, as the season, like, comes to a close, we're gonna get set 7 soon for things to change. I think the Sapphire Diamond control deck, Redlings, and Empress are probably the 3 best decks in Hex's current Standard Constructed format, and none of those are playing Brides of the Damned. Accidentally muted my sound. Really is an okay card. Might board that in at some point. We have 22 playables here on a coin though, so I think this is the deck we're gonna be submitting. I don't think so. Those decks are the Kaigu mid-range deck isn't, I don't think, powerful enough compared to the Sapphire Diamond control deck, and they have like similar game plans. And the MC deck just feels really inconsistent every time I play it. Like, it's either doing its thing or it's not. It doesn't. It needs a lot of really specific cards to line up in the right order a lot of the time. Nothing particularly interesting here. We'll grab the Crackling Tide. Just picking up the Dredge into the pack here. Yeah, like, if you don't have a powerful turn 2 play, like, which you don't always, me more better with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Subscriptions and donations are the 2 best ways you can support my content. So thank you for stepping up to that next level of support. I do appreciate it. The Sapphire Diamond, Redlings, Empress. Which of the 3 is most consistent in doing what it wants to do? Probably the Empress deck, because it gets to play Arcane Focus and Consult the Talents. All those decks are very good, but if I had to pick one purely on merits of consistency, the Empress deck probably wins on merits of consistency alone. I think we're just going to put the Anthem gem in here. Alright, let's queue it up. hand's real good. Redlings does not play Hero Fall. Have you tried Eternal? So, I have played Eternal. Eternal is better than Hex if you are looking for what I like to refer to as like a soundbite game. Eternal has a lot of gameplay design decisions that allow the gameplay to be focused on the game's ending quickly, as opposed to the games being like deep and interesting and long. Like their ladder being best of one makes them really snappy, and it makes the matches pop really quickly and not take a large time investment, so you can like play games while you're waiting here and there for 5 minutes. But like if you're looking for a game where like you're rewarded for consistency and good decision making more so than just like playing quickly, I think it's worse than Hex in a lot of ways. Also, personally, and this is a big personal preference type thing, I'm not a fan of the CCG model, or basically the Hearthstone model that Eternal uses. Like, I don't really like how that works. Yeah, I like that. That's a great TLDR of what I just said. Like the depth is just not there. It feels like in comparison. Hopefully we hit, what's it called? Fourth resource up by 4, so we can play the Mystic Naturalist would be ideal. That's actually a pretty good hit, because we get to go dupe this turn, which is nice. And man, if we get to play these Mystic Naturalists on 4 or 5 with the Hilltop Monastery, our opponent's gonna be dead. That's kind of terrifying. This makes their Shroomkin have +2 attack when they attack, including itself, so it attacks for 5. Let's diligence these nerds. Please, Shard. Please, Shard. That's kind of frustrating. The beats. This is why I always play 18 resources. Like, you know, we kept 2 on the draw in our 18 resource deck, and we missed here. Eternal is much closer to Magic or Hex than it is to Hearthstone. Yeah, the fact that there's a mobile app for Eternal is definitely a huge upside. If I had a resource here, I also would have been able to make this have less power. Are we not attacking? Oh, that's good for me. Man. I mean, I guess I play my boy Tinks out here. And then next turn I could play the Mystic Naturalist, but honestly, playing the Mystic Naturalist next turn is probably going to be too late once my opponent sets up Dreadlings with this Potent Puffball. Yep. We're about to get combat tricked out of this combat too, aren't we? Well, we have this reversion in our hand. Yeah, that's a tilt. Yep. Okay, attacking with this might have been greedy. That's a really frustrating way to lose our first game of the day. Yeah, I don't think we have anything else going on here that we want to bring in. Let's click submit. Is what it is, what it is. Yeah, that too. I definitely like like, I lost a lot of interest in Eternal because, like, I'm primarily a constructed player a lot of the time when I play TCGs, and, like, I really wanted to, like, expend time exploring their constructed format, and I put, like, $40 in and had, like, a tier 2 deck, but then, like, if I wanted to do anything else, it was going to require more of a monetary investment for me, and I just, like, couldn't justify spending hundreds of dollars on, you know, a collectible card game that I was never going to get anything back out of it. Direwolf is very good at what they do in terms of UI design, though. I picked up, I tried the Elder Scrolls card game for the first time the other day, and that is fantastic. Just like Eternal and Pokemon TCG, they're very good at what they do. Yeah, we're actually playing Hex's limited format right now. This is a draft deck that we're playing. You know, Undead's Lap? I'm gonna go ahead and play this Diamond Shard and play the Spearcliff Captain. Yeah, the Hex UI definitely is solid, functional, but it definitely has some rough edges. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming. We're supposed to be getting deck editor improvements sometime this year, hopefully with set 7's release. But like the deck editor currently leaves a lot to be desired in Hex, if we're being brutally honest. All right, opponent's turn to miss shard drops and die. It looks like. Windborne Ascension here, see what we find. That's pretty good. Well, if you have any questions, feel free to ask Kenny. If you're one of my Magic players, you should check out this article here. The resource system, if you've talked about Eternal, the resource system in Hex is identical to Eternal. They basically just carbon copied it for Eternal. We call them shards instead of factions or whatever Eternal calls it. And so like this card costs 5 and requires one blue threshold to have been played out. Seems a little resource heavy, but Wakuna coins we can discard to draw another card, so I think I'm going to keep it. Hilta Onistarian 1's pretty good. Dude, you know how gates work, okay? It's okay. I know, it's tough being 3. It's tough being 3. Hex has, their 7th set is currently in spoiler season right now, so we currently have 6 sets in their current constructed format. This, well, our slightly resource-heavy hand running resources is a little bit medium minus. We can cycle this Wakuna coin, so hopefully we'll find action here and have some choices. Just flipping that up is good for us. It means they're probably just replaying it and not doing much else this turn. Hopefully we find a Mystic Naturals to stick on the 4th turn. Cycle this. Card. Like a never-ending stream of disappointment. Man. Well, we tried, fam. So, Hex uses the hypergeometric distribution to modify the cards that are in your opening hand. So, like, your starting hands have less all resources and less no resources, but the remaining distribution of cards in your Hex deck is going to be completely random, so you're going to flood sometimes. Hex never modifies the text of a card once it's been released. Occasionally they spoil cards and someone points out that a given card is probably too powerful, in which case they do errata things sometimes before the actual set's released, but they never change cards once they're released. They do ban cards on occasion. They've banned 1 card lifetime in their standard constructed format. And we're not out of this game yet by any means. Like, my opponent they missed their 4th resource drop for a turn, and we have this Moonrise Elder, and we have this battle agenda to gas up here a little bit, so... Yeah, Hex is very good about having transparency in returns to, in terms of, like, what they're planning to do. I think we're going to start by playing this battle agenda out here. Alright, well, when it rains, it pours. I'm going to go ahead and Valor this and attack in. This readies itself and gives itself 1/1/1 attacks. When do I normally stream Magic? My scheduled Magic streams are Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning, and then as time permits, I'm going to be streaming Magic every single day for the next couple of weeks as I prepare for the SCG Invitational, but I don't really have set times for those. It's mostly just like as the kids and wife permit. That's pretty good. Just going to make a Dreadling every turn. This can trade for this, which kind of sucks, but I think if they offer that trade, I'm obligated to take it. Yep. Oh, I forgot to... I'm a big dumb stupid. I forgot to put a counter on that. Which is actually really unfortunate because I'm putting 3 guys out here, so I would have been able to start using this next turn. I think I'm just going to chump block this turn, so I'm not going to consult exhausting all of these. Yeah, this is 10 out of 10 my favorite digital TCG, and it's the only one that's kept my attention for a long time. Hex also has, like, I'm mostly a tournament player when it comes to card games, and, like, Hex is the only digital TCG outside of Magic Online, which is just, like, not really a digital TCG. It's just, like, mirroring a paper card game that has tournament formats online. My opponent's edging towards their champion power here, which for 8 charges, can give all their troops +1/+1 till end of turn.
Teresa and I are gonna run to the store. The 2 girls are sleeping.
Okay.
They're both in the book.
Okay.
Just call us if they wake up.
Okay.
We'll be back. Yeah. Don't you hear them, like...
Just gonna exhaust all of these. We'll take 4 here. So I've missed. Yeah, you're fine. I've missed generating a Valor because I forgot to exhaust this before it died. Set my auto pass key because I'm a big dumb stupid. I'll play the Spear Cliff Captain out here. I think I'm gonna consult here off of these. Hopefully they don't kill us next turn with their champion power. Good lord. Man. We are not having good runs here. I think I'm just going to make them pick this up. So that way they can't make 2 Dreadlings with it next turn. So that way their burst of damage, if they want to use their champion power, is going to be less. We're actually haven't drawn that far outside the mean. Like, we've had 11, I guess we've had 12 resources and 20 cards. I guess that's a little bit high. We're playing 18s. We've had 2/3 of our shards and half our deck. It's, like, not completely unreasonable. Alright, we're dead. God, I hate Commander Prompt. Alright, we tried. Let's queue up the next one. I mean, we were still dead even with a pass there. I like a lot of the things Hex does, but if we're being brutally honest, Commander Prompt's a design mistake. Not for constructed let me rephrase. Commander Prompt should be their legendary rarity. The fact that Commander Prompt is a rare is pretty miserable. It's a fine card for constructed, and it makes some interesting decks in constructed possible, but it should not be a rare for terms of how often it shows up in limited. It just, like, literally slots into everything. Yes, you're very loud. We all hear you. You're very loud. I don't think I'm just playing... Yeah, I'm just going to play this out as a 2/2 and get pressuring. Like, the number of matches in the Clash Sealed that I've lost to Commander Prompt is probably higher than every other card in the format. I mean, no, yeah, like, Magic's not infallible. Like, Pack Rat should have been a mythic for terms of limited as well. Sandstorm Curve's gonna be real good. We get to attack with this, play this, and the next turn we get to play Mystic Naturalist. I don't know that that's true. I mean, Runier is plenty beatable and limited, I think. Like, Runier is nowhere near the impact of Commander Prompt. Yeah, like, and for terms of, like, constructed, like, Commander Prompt might be too expensive and constructed if it was a legendary. So, not attacking my 2-2 into their 5-5. We've got our 0-6 to block here. Next turn, we're going to generate. This generates a Valor for every Ardent Troop we control. So, next turn, I get to go Resource, Cloud Runner, Moonrise Elder, and then generate 1, 2, 3, 4 Valors, which is pretty sweet. From the Ashes is a legendary, at least. Like, having bomb blowouts at legendaries means they're not happening terribly often, which is fine. Like, you need powerful cards to make constructed interesting, and I understand that. So, Cloud Runner into Moonrise Elder. You would have to have WotC care about the format having good games of Magic in it. Our opponent doesn't have removal here. They're about to get run out of this game very quickly. Yep. Alright, they have the Butcher, so they're not going to get run out by the Mystic Naturalist. This Moonrise Elder might still punch the clock and go to work, though. No free bluebirds for us. Okay, Dread Apprentice is pretty good. They're going to gain a life for each of these Dreadlings that dies, and they're going to sack one to this. So they're going to have a lot of hit points to work with. Oh, my deck on the side is wrong. Thank you. I forgot to save it in between games. I really need to fix that in my deck list tool at some point. Their Chant Power gain another 4 life. So they have 6 power here. So I'm gonna double Valor this Moonrise Elder so it can attack in and they can't double block to kill it. Because this gives itself +1/+1 when it attacks, so this will be a 6/7. Attack for 14. They could double block this Daring Freebooter if they want. We're chumping the Moonrise Elder. That's interesting. Maybe they have a Tomb Swap to flip that back up to their hand and then re-scrounge it to gain a bunch of life and host a bunch of Dreadlings. Pretty reasonable if they did. Yeah, I mean, like, we have to kill through it at some point. They don't have anything that's antheming their team right now. And, like, I have to actually kill them. I'm not going to kill them by just attacking with these flyers anytime quickly. Unless you know Commander Prompt, right? Packs it in. Pack it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Yeah, we're just gonna click submit. This deck's a firm medium minus. We've got some quality bombs in our Mystic Naturalists and our Cloudbounders, but we ended up with actual no removal in the deck. We've just got, like, a sweep away. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday, enjoying the Frost Heart spoilers. Hex's 7th set's going to be releasing hopefully sometime this month or early next month before the next CCS. Looking forward to it. We're battling some draft here, and after we play this match and the next one, we're going to pivot over to playing some standard constructed. Probably play with some commander prompts of our own in constructed. It's real good in constructed. Real good in all formats, really. I can put the deck list back up here now since we sideboarded. This hand's fine. Like, not perfect, but fine. It's got a Cerulean Sage. It's got our one piece of interaction. Eager Lackey's pretty good. When this comes into play, it conscripts an Underworld Troop of cost 4 for my opponent. Are you excited? No reason to attack my 0-3 into their 3 power. And Progenitus is pretty good. This says whenever an Underworld troop enters their hand, they create a Dreadling for each Underworld race they control, and they can pay 2 to conscript a 3 cost Underworld troop. Honestly, I think I'm just going to sweep this away to buy myself some time here. Uses my resources efficiently. Makes my opponent choose between playing the 4-drop they conscripted this turn and replaying the Mad Progenitus. Worth noting, opponent still doesn't have second blood to activate their champion power just yet. Play this Moonrise Elder, make a couple of Valors. No attacks, no reason to attack my guys into their superior board. Alright, we know they drew an Underworld troop because they made a Dreadling. Mechanized Gem Scouts, conscripted from Eager Lackey. 4-3 with Crush. Block. The fact that they're gaining 2 life a turn is real good. So if I double Valor this, it'll be a 5-6, a 6-7. They'd have to block with everything. No paper magic, but we're going to be playing Magic Online this evening. After the kids go to bed. Paper Magic streams are just a lot of work for, you know, a return that's not particularly great. So they could trade 4 of their guys for this if they want, which I think I'm okay with. Have to trade this, 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 and this. Get all 7 power in front of here, and like if I have a combat trick, they just get destroyed. Oh, they're gonna let me kill this. I think that's good for me. I think I'd rather kill this, and leave that alive. Yeah, Yeah, I think I want to do this. I have 6 points of power, so 4, 1, 1. That's fine to me. Sirpy Boy with the brand new subscription. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Subscriptions are the best way you can support my content, so welcome. Lackey, sure, and they hit their second blood here, so they're going to be able to activate Takahiro to sacrifice the Lackey, which this draws a card when it dies. So they're going to draw 2 cards and gain some life there. They had the Tomb Swap for the Mad Rabber. That makes sense why they threw it away then. Free block. So we're basically running on E here, but the good news is, the good news is we drew a Mystic Naturalist. I say we can pay 6 to draw 2 cards with that one time, which is dice, and now we've got a squad here in the sky, which feels good. Why is that, Ravik? What's wrong with Rusted Rune explicitly? Is it because, like, it's just kind of like a filler card with just, like, a Dreadling mechanic just stapled on the top of it? I guess I could see that. Sure. I think I'd rather lose the Broombot than one of the Phantoms, honestly. Maybe the Cerulean Sage? Nah, that blocks Dreadlings. Oh yeah, that's the best. You could revert this back to its original state to draw more cards. Alright, take 1 here, they gain 4. Hopefully they don't have a Butcher for this Naturalist. They don't have a Butcher for the Naturalist right away. We might be able to snowball it a little bit. That being said, they are only 1 resource away from their champion power again, so we'll see what they have. Wow, that's good. That's a good conscript. So whenever they get a Dreadling, they're gonna get... It's gonna deal damage to us. And whenever they draw an Underworld Troop right now, they're gonna get 3 Dreadlings. That's alright. Alright, Mystic Naturalist, I need you to do your thing here. Please don't die. Please don't die. Ding. Alright, draw 2 cards. Oh. It's whenever an Underworld Troop enters your hand from anywhere, so conscripting or drawing. So they have a combat trick here. Alright, so we let that resolve, and then before damage here, I'm going to go ahead and reversion this. So these guys just bounce, which means this is going to get to Diligence again and make another 2/2, which feels good. Put this up post-combat. Make a Ruby Threshold. I think we have something else. And again, we don't actually have any removal in our deck here, so if they just start drawing Underworld Troops and making Dreadlings like that, we're going to take 3 every time and then die pretty quickly. We're up a game at least. They're out. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead and move on to the 3rd game here. Oof. Man, decks without removal in them are real bad. This deck feels like a sealed deck, right? Like, we ended up passing a bunch of Shackling Strands for bombs, and like, we have a bunch of bombs, but we don't have a lot of removal, so like, Usually our draft decks in this format have a little bit removal. Worth noting too, though, that like the removal that we passed wouldn't have helped us. Like it was Shackling Strand, so like Shackling Strand doesn't help us against cards like what my opponent has. Oh, I do have a Friar in my board, don't I? Yeah, that probably would have been worth bringing in. It's like there explicitly for the Dreadling strategies. Dude, you can't just put that in front of Dad's screen. Okay, Sam's got a really good curve. Liquefied Vapor with the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much and welcome, I do appreciate it. On the main Hex CCG site, they have an article that's up there talking about how they're kind of changing the structure of cards and packs. So I'm gonna play Tinkertron here, so I'm more likely to be able to play the Mystic Naturalist next turn. What's the best use for gold? So the best use for gold depends on what you're looking to do with it. If you're looking to just play PvP with it and be kind of the more competitive aspect, the best use for your gold is actually finding people in the trade chat that want to buy your gold for platinum, and then using that platinum to either purchase cards or limited event entry. You want some crackers, child? Yeah, we need some crackers in our life. Have you never sat in my lap before? You keep sliding out. Yep. And the conversion rate on gold is not insanely high. So I think it's like 200 gold is worth like 1 plat or something like that. That's fantastic. So what we actually get to do here is we get to go ahead and make a temporary resource with this. So now we get to go Mystic Naturalist into Hilltop Monastery, and then we get to start diligencing this Mystic Naturalist right away. So we're going to get a free 2/2 next turn if they can't kill this. If you're like me, you just take all of your gold and send it to your wife. And she does whatever PvE players do with gold. I don't actually know what PvE players do with gold, but apparently they use it for something. These could be famous last words, but I'm like 90% sure here my opponent can't play anything to kill my Mystic Naturalist because of this block. Use this, exhaust this, and my pretty lady's gonna diligence here. My pretty lady, my sugar pie, honey, baby. Come, my lady, come, my lady. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Come, my lady, come, my lady. You're the sugar pie, honey, baby. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I'm actually going to wait on this attack because we could put 4 counters on this and start making Valors. She does not stream. She streamed once or twice, but she's not terribly into it. Web Spinner Prelate's a pretty good conscript. It gives all their dreadlings rage. Despite all the rage, they are still just dreadlings in a cage. Someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Opponent is missing resource drops too, which is good for us. I'm gonna go ahead and gain a charge here, I think. Which then gives me my 6, so I could activate my champion power to make some phantoms here. I can then use my Cloudbounder with Mobilize to mobilize on here. So one thing that's really kind of It's small, but I think it's worth doing, is I'm going to avoid actually attacking with my Mystic Naturalist because my opponents showed us that they have Butcher in their deck, which destroys an exhausted troop. Because I could use this Hilltop Monastery to exhaust my Mystic Naturalist at the end of their turn, it kind of lets her dodge the Butcher while still generating a new 2/2 every turn. Yeah, sorry, I'll try and do a little bit more zooming. So this card, no, we just put that card text up there in chat. But this guy, little rabbit's got a lot of text on him. So he makes a Dreadling every time an Underworld troop enters their hand from anywhere. Oh, look, there's that Butcher we were playing around. Man, it feels good to be a gangster. It's always great when you're like, we should make this really small percentage play, and then it's relevant. You're very loud, child. Alright, so how much am I attacking for in the air? This is 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so this Valor's lethal? Let's count this again just to be case. 6, 9, and then 6 again is 15, so yeah, that should be lethal. Should be exactly dead. Aha! Scoreboard! Perfect. Been drafted for like an hour. I'll finish this draft later off stream, I think.